Uh,
Okay.
Hi everyone. This is Pomona University, Pomona College, sorry, attending our college fair tonight, and we have Adam. If you have any questions, just let me know in the chat, and we can address the questions after the talk, where I'll be moderating a discussion between Adam and you guys. So yeah, Adam, the floor is yours. Thanks so much. Thanks so much for coming in.
All right. Thank you so much. And kumusta? Hello, everyone. Hope you're all well. My name is Adam Sapp, and I'm the Director of Admission at Pomona College. I'm going to be talking about Pomona today. I'm going to be talking a little bit about the Claremont colleges, our location in Southern California, as well as a little bit about the liberal arts. So I have a variety of slides that I'm going to walk you through today. And if at any point you have a question or there's something that you'd like explained in a little more detail, just turn on your microphone and ask a question. It's hard for me to see the chat sometimes given the view that I'm in, but I'm more than willing to answer your question if you wouldn't mind asking it. So I thought I would start with this opening slide. And as you can see from behind me, we have a great view of campus sort of all the way up to the mountains there, the San Gabriel Mountain Valley. You can kind of see the snow on the top of the mountain if you look closely. But this is Pomona's campus. And this slide here gives you a little bit of an overview, some very basic information. We are one of the oldest institutions in the Western United States. And as a liberal arts college, one of the few liberal arts institutions in the Western United States. We're the founding member of the Claremont colleges, which I'll talk about in a little bit. We have about 1,600 students at Pomona, though there are more at the Claremont colleges, which I'll get into, and we offer 48 majors. This is the math and science building at Pomona. So if you're looking straight into the glass walls there, you'll see, or you'll walk into eventually a lecture hall that is a typical classroom for a larger class at Pomona, though many of our classes are more discussion based and in smaller rooms with tables and chairs. All right. Here is this sort of bigger map in relief, just so that you have a sense of where we're located. We're 35 miles east of Los Angeles. LAX is our home airport. We are in LA County. We're on the eastern side of Los Angeles County. And one of the things that is important in terms of our identity at Pomona is that we're part of the Claremont colleges. And that includes 5 institutions: Pomona, Claremont McKenna, Scripps, Pitzer, and Harvey Mudd. And all 5 of these colleges are located right next to each other so that you can walk, skateboard, bike, easily access the other schools, because one of the real principles of going to school in Claremont is that you attend one school, you can take classes at all 5. And you live at one school, but you can participate in extracurricular activities at all 5. So when we talk about all of our clubs and organizations, all of our dining halls, all of our students, that is Claremont as a whole. And so as a Pomona College student, you have access to any of the Claremont College's resources, which is really nice because it does make the place feel quite a bit larger. And a little bit of a repeat slide here, but it has some different information on it that I wanted to point out. One of those is that Pomona has a no loan financial aid program for international students. And I will talk about financial aid as I move through the presentation. But financial aid, we know, is an important part of higher education access in the United States, particularly for international students. And so if you are a Filipino citizen and you do not have either dual citizenship with the US, or you're not a US citizen living in the Philippines, if you have Filipino citizenship singularly, we offer a no loan financial aid program for you. The other part of this is that we are admitting students in a what we would call need aware way, meaning that we do look at financial aid as part of the admissions process. But as you'll see on the next slide, we have a lot of students who are on financial aid. So just about half of our students are on financial aid, which compared to our peers across the country is actually pretty high. And so one of the things that becomes important to think about when you're thinking about financial aid is not how many students from the Philippines are at Pomona, for example. I mean, any college in Claremont, that number is not going to be super high. We're going to have Filipino students. The more important piece is if you're looking for financial aid, what percent of the international students are on financial aid? Because many, even other prestigious universities in the United States, that number can actually be lower than you think. And so it's important to understand not just the policies, but also the percent of the population that aid goes to. And that's something that I always like to talk about, because when you come to Pomona, if you're a student who needs financial aid and you're an international student, you're going to be one of many at Pomona, not one of a few. And so that feels very different than if you're at a school where you're one of a few students on financial aid. The culture around that really is quite different at other schools. So I'll talk about it more later in the Q&A if you'd like, but I just want to sort of be very clear. We are need aware. We do meet 100% of need. We do so with no loans, and we have a significant number on financial aid. Other important numbers that I think are really worth pointing out here are the outcome numbers as well as the faculty relationship numbers. We have a lot of students living on campus. We have a lot of students doing research. We have a lot of places to do research. If you see here the European Union Center, that is a Claremont College's resource. It's based at Scripps College, but it is about European politics, European history, European economics, and they invite speakers that come to a place at Scripps at the EU Center that anyone can attend the lectures, look at the collaborate on research projects, and it's a really great resource if you are interested in history or politics or economics, anything to do with Europe or the EU. ISMP, that's the International Student Mentorship Program. This is a mentorship program that begins when you enroll at Pomona. So it's for first years to make sure that you're acclimating well to the college. And it also allows you to have an automatic friendship group of other international students, and I think that's one of the things that becomes important as well is, am I going to have friends? Am I going to know people? What is the global community like? And you will see at Pomona very quickly that global community is there. They're going to support you from day one. And one of the ways they do that is through ISMP, the International Student Mentorship Program. Many students, whether you're in art or you're in science or you're in history, no matter what academic discipline you're in, you're going to have faculty and students and alumni at Pomona who are going to have been successful in those fields. There's going to be examples for success in those fields, and they're going to be there to support you. Pomona is a global place, 60 countries, all 50 states, one of the highest graduation rates in the country at 90%. 1/5 of students at Pomona are first in their family to go to college. We are a place that believes in access. We believe in affordability. We also believe in cultural competency and being a global citizen. And you're going to find that that really is true as you move through Pomona. There's a lot of students from a lot of places doing a lot of different kinds of work in many, many academic disciplines. And that makes the place quite fun. The academic space is rigorous. Your faculty are going to push you. Low student to faculty ratios, small average class sizes, faculty who live close to campus, who are interested in your lives. They are attending your events if you're an athlete, or they're attending your shows if you're in theater or you're in music or you're in dance. This happens to be Professor Carolyn Rattray, who is in the drama department. She's a drama professor. Theater, which is one of our majors at Pomona, is actually a 5-college major. So students from Harvey Mudd, Claremont, McKenna, Scripps, Pitzer, and Pomona all take classes in one theater department that's housed at Pomona. So another example of how the Claremont Colleges works when it comes to academic integration. We do want students to live on campus. Housing is guaranteed for all 4 years. When you are on campus, you are going to have the opportunity to be mentored by sophomores in what's called a sponsor group, which is a couple of sophomores with about 10 first-year students, and you all sort of get to know each other. So if you're an international student, you have ISMP, your mentorship group for international students, And you have your sponsor group, which is for all first year students. So you come in automatically with two groups of generally between 5 and 10 students each who are going to be a support system for you in your first few weeks as you move through orientation, you move through your first semester. Study abroad is also important and accessible for all students, including those on financial aid. In pre-pandemic times, not last year for sure, but in pre-pandemic times, and we hope to get back to a number close to that in the years ahead, about half of the students at Pomona will choose to study abroad in various countries. The most popular continent is Europe, but there's lots of programs in South America, in Asia, Africa, as well as the Middle East, many places around the world that you can study abroad. This is sort of a deep dive again into our location. I just want to point out, as a city located on the eastern side of the county, you have access to Los Angeles, but we're not in downtown LA. We're about 35 miles from downtown LA. So we have access to Joshua Tree, to lots of national parks and a lot of nature. If you're to continue to go east, we have access to the city of Los Angeles, Santa Monica, Venice Beach, the beaches of Orange County, as well as the city of San Diego. We're a little bit far from San Francisco, quite frankly, but if you know Southern California at all, you know LA is a big place. We are the second largest city in the United States, and there's about 10 million people that live in that blue zone, Los Angeles County. So it is not a small place by any means. It's also worth noting that California has the largest Filipino immigrant population in the United States. And so you're going to find there's actually a lot of pockets of Filipino American community. So if you're missing your local food, there's a Jerry's Grill in Artesia. If you really want to go get some Max's chicken, you can go to Glendale. There's all sorts of ways for you to have those sort of touch points with home if you want to. Southern California does offer all of that. I want to say a special word about the arts. It's one of those things that is very important in college, whether you are a dancer, a singer, or an actor, and you want to participate in these ensembles, or you want to attend a school that has a vibrant arts community. You can go to the orchestra here. You can go to the dance concert. You can go to faculty-led recitals and things like that. And you can also participate in the choir, the glee club, the orchestra, jazz band. We have a Balinese gamelan ensemble as well. So there's a lot of ways for you to experience the arts. This is our visual arts building, which is more about studio art. We have some very, very famous studio art professors, as well as alums who are artists themselves from Pomona, and it's part of the academic tradition for sure, as are the sciences and the social sciences. So academic research, this happens to be a chemistry professor in a chemistry lab. This is Professor Ball, who's in the chemistry department. You want to do science at Pomona? You can absolutely do that. We have a lot of students who are scientists. They do scientific research in their classes, but also during the summer through our research programs. They use those research programs to apply to PhD programs or summer programs. And so research becomes very important. Lots of state-of-the-art labs, chemistry, biology, neuroscience, cognitive science, physics, all sorts of ways to think about research. And then the flip side of that is that not everybody wants to do academic research. Some students want to do internships. Some students want to be more hands-on. This is a student who's in the DC program, which is one of the study abroad programs that we have, that you can study abroad in Washington, DC for one semester through a program at Claremont McKenna College. But you could also do internships in Los Angeles. You can do them around the world through our research funded or through our internship funded program called PSIP. And PSIP is the Pomona College Internship Program that provides you funding to be able to complete internships around the country and the world. So we have students who are getting summer funding. We have students who are on campus or near campus in LA who are doing internships most of the time in the summer, sometimes during the academic year. But this is something that's really, really important. Almost 90% of students will complete an internship during their time at Pomona, which really says a lot about the program and how robust it is and how many internship opportunities exist. This is another shot of the Claremont colleges, just sort of a different view, kind of like the one that I have there. This looks out onto Claremont, McKenna, and Scripps, which you can kind of see in the background a little bit. Just again, showing you how close we all are at the Claremont colleges. And then I do want to say a word about resources for support. As I said, it's not easy. This is a lot of work in your 4 years. There's also a lot of support. I've already talked about student support through mentorship programs and sort of helping you make friends so that you know people. You, of course, have a faculty advisor in small classes. You're going to have faculty support. There's also academic support in the form of the Quantitative Skills Center. If you need help with math tutoring or your biology problem set, you also may have some other needs outside of that. Perhaps you get sick and you need to get your medicine. You can go to the student health services. Maybe you want to speak to a counselor because there's a lot of stress going on and you want to try to figure out sort of how to manage that. Monsoor counseling can help with sort of mental health and stress counseling if you have challenges there. There's also other ways to meet other people in Claremont. Resources for the Asia Pacific American Center, or the Asian Pacific American Students Center, which is at Pomona's campus. There's also CLSA, the Chicano Latinx Student Affairs, as well as OBSA, the Office of Black Student Affairs, that are located in Tranquado, which is essentially just a little north of campus for all the Claremont colleges students. There's also the QRC, the Queer Resources Center, as well as the McAllister Center for Religious Activities. That houses a full-time, for example, Catholic priest, Jewish rabbi, Protestant minister, as well as imam. And you may want to participate in religious services as you maintain a religious identity at the Claremont colleges. That's very welcome. We're happy to support that as well. And then, of course, we share a bookstore. Huntley is a center on campus. You don't just get your books, but you can kind of hang out there. You can get your Pomona gear as well. It's pretty centrally located in campus. Again, just sort of a bit of a deep dive. I hopped through this slide the first time. Pomona is right next to Claremont McKenna, Pitzer, Scripps, and Harvey Mudd. It's about a 15-minute walk on the diagonal from Pomona over to Harvey Mudd. So everything's very, very close to each other. And then the city of Claremont, which is the Claremont Village, that sort of tan space there, that's right next to Pomona. So you're right next to downtown Claremont, which is a city of about 35,000. In LA, that's a relatively small suburb. And so you're going to find, if you want to go into Los Angeles, you can take the Metrolink, which is the train there at the bottom of First Street on the map. That goes directly into what we call DTLA, downtown LA. And so that's where we have Olvera Street and Chinatown and Little Tokyo, lots of different spots in downtown LA for you to hang out in. And then again, just sort of reemphasizing this notion of Pomona at 1,600 with small average classes. We're a standalone institution, but the Claremont colleges have 6,000 students, 2,500 courses, 250 clubs and organizations, lots and lots of opportunities there for you. All right, so that is my presentation, a little about 20 minutes in. So I hopefully you felt that we didn't rush too much, but I'll sort of stop there. And if you'd like, I'm happy to answer questions. I'm gonna switch this off real quick. So
Yeah, I'll also stop the recording, Adam.
thank you.